No, there's nothing that we really have here. No, we don't really have much.
I started off.
I don't know. I mean, we did see Citizen Vigilante last night.
Mhm.
That was the whole movie was tweeted out by Elon Musk. I know the movie's been banned in certain places in Europe. But
Yeah,
the content.
apparently only posted it for 48 hours on his.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw that recently.
And
Took it down. So
it's a controversial movie, evidently.
yeah,
By
I
the
could see why
content
you
of it.
would. Yeah, I could see why you think it's controversial. I mean, it like wasn't that good of a film. Like in terms of the plot, in terms of the writing,
No.
even like the setting and stuff. It was just kind of,
Yeah.
this like action, like vengeance type of movie,
Yeah, that's true.
which was
You know.
entertaining. It was only like an hour and 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
Yeah, so
it wasn't.
that's what it's
that
going
crazy.
for.
But yeah, the writing wasn't necessarily that good. I mean, we never. The lighting too for some of it was just a little too bright. Just I don't know, like, but I know the message was very controversial, so it was worth seeing it just for that.
Yeah, just like what's all the
Yeah.
hype about. And it's interesting because this is Armie Hammer's like comeback movie after
really?
his cannibalism claims and stuff,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
which is the strange. I still don't understand that controversy.
I think it was like his text messages. Like,
Because yeah, it wasn't like his ex like leaked them or something.
yeah, I think he was just. It seemed like he was just really bad at sexting, but I don't,
Just turned into this crazy.
Yeah, everyone, when you're not thinking with your big head, it's
And it's kind of like when Hollywood X's you out, you're on the blacklist for them, and you have no other avenue to get in, and you have this come along. I guess it's not a good movie, but the controversy, I'm sure,
oh yeah, it
is gonna
generates
help
that.
him.
Yeah, just like there was with that movie. Was it Sound of Freedom with Jim
Oh,
Caviezel?
Oh yeah, with the trafficking movie, right?
Yeah, that
I never
one
saw that
gained-
one.
Yeah, that one gained a lot of that one became big because it gained a lot of controversy. I know anything Mel Gibson touches is also the same kind of thing.
Oh, was that Mel Gibson?
Think so.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, I remember that it might have been him.
That's interesting.
Usually him and Jim Caviezel work like a lot, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But I also know, like, yeah, anything that Mel Gibson makes, it's always
Controversial.
Apocalypto, I know, is controversial. Great, very good movie too.
Even The Passion of the Christ.
Passion of the Christ was controversial. I remember that came out.
That's a crazy movie. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
That is one of the most graphic,
yeah.
brutal films, but also lots of elements of, I don't know. It was like kind of scary too. Remember those scenes with it was like that, like almost like this like genderless woman holding the baby,
Oh, Satan, yeah.
and the baby turns and it's got this freaky demon face.
Yeah, it's Satan, yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, that one was good. Kind of like this inversion of the Madonna with child
right.
type of thing there, which I thought was really good. But yeah,
He has a sequel coming out, I think, next year.
yeah,
The
I think
Resurrection.
yeah,
of
it's
the
gonna be
Christ.
that one's gonna be pretty good too. And apparently for the resurrection, what they're gonna be going into, like, they're gonna do Christ's harrowing into hell, where
Really?
he goes down, like, 'cause in 3 days, right? He goes, in the part of the creed, he goes to hell
Mm.
to bring all the people from hell all the way to heaven, because now heaven's been opened up. So,
I'm gonna be curious how they're gonna make
that's
that.
good. I saw that little detail, and I
Yeah.
thought that was gonna be very interesting.
I saw him on Rogan, and they were talking briefly about it, and it sounds like he's funding most of the film.
Yeah.
Like no studios are gonna give him money for it,
No, the same thing with Passion of the Christ. No one.
and it was a massive box office success.
Oh, it was
I think it made
huge.
like $400 or $500 million.
It's huge, international too. With
Yeah.
because
Because it has the Catholicism, that it's a global
Yeah.
thing. Everyone can kind of understand that story.
not even Catholicism, just Christians
Or I guess
everywhere.
Christianity. Yeah,
everywhere.
true.
They all share the same story with them. So I know that the people had referred to it when it came out as like anti-Semitic,
Mm-hmm.
but it really just tracked with the Gospels.
I don't understand how they determined that it was anti-Semitic for that movie.
Because the trope that the Jews killed Christ. The Jews killed Jesus, and that was always like a thing that Jews were blamed for, and that
I
kind of
guess.
justified a
Not
whole
really a
bunch of, like,
trope.
programs.
It's
or
kind of like
whatever.
an actual thing, right?
It's described in the Gospels as like, if you go into at least the Good Friday services in the Catholic Church, right? You basically basically a call and response where you do like the crowd as the congregation is the Jewish people. You have like the priest will read as like Jesus. You have someone else read as Pontius Pilate. So you go through, I think like the Gospel of John or something like that, like the account in that one, and you have like the Jews saying Pilate's like, it's his blood. I don't want his blood on my hands, and then the crowd responds like, let his blood be on us and our descendants or whatever. So that was always
Yeah.
But yeah, but I know that was like kind of the controversy too with the Passion of the Christ, and I know South Park had spoofed it. I don't know if you've ever seen
I
that.
haven't seen that, no.
That was
I
Eric.
can't even imagine.
Yeah, when Passion of the Christ came out, Eric Cartman saw it, and he decided to create a Mel Gibson fan club.
Oh my gosh.
And he started. There's basically like a little Hitler going around teaching people like the Nazi slogans or whatever. Everyone in South Park thought it was like it was the Aramaic from
Oh my god.
from the movie.
That's crazy. When did the movie come out? When did South Park come out?
South Park's been out for a very long time.
I guess.
South Park's been out for, I think, the early 2000s, because I know they did like a spoof on Saddam Hussein during the American invasion of Iraq.
They touch
they've
on
been around
every
for a while.
controversy as soon as it comes out. I feel like that's like the one show that never holds back. It's like
Yeah.
they're instantly talking about whatever
Yeah.
insane event just happened.
Well, they didn't, but they did one thing. It was during the Biden administration. They never parodied Biden or Obama.
Really?
Never parodied either one of them. Yeah,
Why?
I don't know.
Like that doesn't make any sense.
They never. But now the new South Park I saw, apparently the new season is just all about Trump. So they're parodying Trump all the time, which is
they're showing their cards.
But they never did anything with like Biden, and there was a lot of material there that you could.
There was probably Trump has the most material for sure.
Yes, but I'm not saying there wasn't any. There was material for the Biden.
There was a
you
ton.
could have easily, we've all seen clips of him, stumbling his way around, him falling up the stairs, down the stairs,
roaming like a Roomba.
Like
Shane
roaming like a
Gillis
Roomba,
says.
yeah,
that's so true.
roaming like a Roomba. There was the foothills in the Himalaya comment.
Oh my
Speaking of
God.
President Xi Jinping, about the foothills.
Foothills
of
of-
the
It's like,
Himalayas.
what the hell are you saying? Is it the teleprompter that's off, or
Yeah.
you're just not
Yeah,
reading
you
it?
just
You're just think you can riff for one moment, and then
Yeah.
it's like,
oh, interesting.
let's go back.
Yeah.
I saw. Did you see he had a speech at the University of somewhere in Maryland? I think it was yesterday or the day before, and he's giving a speech about it was like giving a speech about like supporting Democrats up and down the ballot, like this his whole life dedicated to democracy, and then the crowd started turning on him. They started like yelling at him, and he literally couldn't even talk. Like, he's just like standing there. He's like, folks. It's just like, and he didn't say anything controversial. It wasn't like,
Yeah, it was
I'm
just probably just
supporting this type of candidate. It's like, I've just been supporting XYZ candidates my whole
Yeah.
career, and not like that.
No, I did not see that. That's crazy.
Very weird.
Yeah, well, it's just gonna keep. We can go into politics if we want to, but yeah, I know basically what we're right now. They just had not by-elections, but primaries in New York for stuff, and
Yeah.
I think the base is kind of splitting for the Democratic Party, similar to what the Democrats are. I think are gonna go through what the Republican Party did in 2016, 2015, 2016.
True.
Where it split kind of between the establishment and the more populist wing of the party.
Yeah, it's gonna
And
be
I
like
think it's gonna come to head with
yeah,
that
it has
too.
to. Yeah,
There's
they
no
don't,
way
they
you
don't
can.
seem to like each other very much.
Yeah, it's really hard to reconcile. It seems those the two wings of the Democratic Party right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, because I know the Republican Party, the establishment, was able to at least absorb the populism into its national structure, but I don't know if the Democrats have that same appetite for swallowing whole the left populism that's kind of popular right now.
It can be difficult. Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know how they're gonna do it. Be interesting. We'll,
Yeah,
we'll know soon.
as before, but yeah, South Park never parodied Biden or the Obamas. I don't think.
So interesting.
Like, I think Obama was mentioned. Like, they did something with like the election in 2008 between like McCain and Obama, like secret agents or whatever, but they never really dug into Obama.
Because the president in South Park was.
That was Mr. Garrison.
Oh yeah, okay.
But he was like a Trump parody. He had the wig. He had.
Oh, I was thinking to the president of Rick and Morty. Remember?
Oh yeah.
What's his
No, I
name?
think I don't remember what his name was.
He was more of an Obama-esque figure.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know. I've always seen, like, because you see with a lot of like shows and movies, like they always have like a very black president.
Hmm.
with some of them.
Interesting.
And but I don't think he was supposed to be like an Obama.
Okay, it's just like his
I think
own.
it was. Yeah, I think it was just his own. He's just the president, black
Yeah. Right.
enough. But
Interesting.
yeah, I mean, it's yeah, the parodies with that stuff. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, just now with the climate for comedies, it's really hard to really make those type of comedy movies anyway. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Citizen Vigilante, that was really nothing to rave home about. I wouldn't even necessarily recommend it. It's just like a action flick.
Yeah, it's a right wing action flick.
Yeah, that's basically.
That's really it. If you're a chud or chudlet, that's what you should watch.
What does that mean? Define for our viewers the difference between chud and chudlet.
Well, a chud is just a derogatory term come up with by leftists to describe people on the right. So
Okay.
it's like someone who's reactionary, right wing. Leftist will call people a chud, call you a chud, and then chudlet's like a smaller chud. It's like a kid. It's like if you're a chud and you have a son, your son would be a chudlet.
Sounds like a chick and like a chicklet.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, chudlet.
Interesting.
I could say. We're gonna cut this part out. But
Let's take a quick pause really quick.
yeah, no problem.
I'm gonna get the.
I know these children.
Right.
Issue.
Yeah.
Pretty
How they're trying to
on the nose about that.
talk about it. Yeah, to at least message about it. But I mean, that's just kind of going to see. There's like a movie like that where it's I don't know what the budget was on it. Didn't seem like it was too much. It seemed kind of a cheap movie.
Yeah.
For the most part. But that's kind of tying into the lack of like there's action movies all the time, and then I feel like back in the 2010s or like the mid 2000s, comedy films were the pinnacle. The Seth
Yeah.
Rogen films, the Judd Apatow movies, like
Yeah.
those were just
Those
the
were
best.
defining, yeah.
And they were the most like non-PC movies ever. They said the craziest stuff. And now, since the whole woke movement, like Seth Rogen is essentially castrated himself, and he just like can't produce a single funny movie in the name of.
No, and Judd Apatow has made the same comment. He's like, "There's no way I could make the movies that I made then now." Like not with,
Says
like,
who?
Judd Apatow.
So you're putting this like weird thing, like you're putting this restriction on yourself because of your ideology now, even though they never explain like what their ideology is.
No, the ideology changes every day. That's
And now Seth Rogen, he just has his weed company that he's just constantly he's like,
yeah,
I made this new
strain.
strain and this new little pot where you put your ash in.
Yeah. Well, it's
Great.
he's also like almost his 50s. He's in his 50s, something
He's
like
in
that.
his late 30s or early 40s.
He's not in his late 30s.
Maybe early. He's in his. I don't think he's in his 50s. He's in his 40s.
Either way, he's way too old to be doing the smoking weed shtick.
Yeah, but he's
a little too old for
the
that.
fatherless, stereotype where
True.
like the reason he didn't want kids is because he just wants to smoke and be a child the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Which would make sense if you're continuing to make those movies, but now he doesn't even do anything.
no.
So now you're just a loser in Hollywood that I know he's in the studio, he's still having stuff that's
Yeah.
coming out, but it's like you just I haven't seen a single comedy film in the past 10 years to any scale of those early films,
No, there hasn't really been. I mean, you've had rom-coms come out, but you really
They're
haven't
separate
had.
genre, I would call it.
Yeah, but there hasn't been like one of those old school.
Like a super bad.
Yeah. No.
I haven't seen anything like that.
Now I know they're coming in with a 24 Jump Street.
Yeah.
I saw that. So
That'll be
jury
the
will wait to see
Right.
if how that turns
that'll be the
out.
opportunity because that was one of the last those were like some of the last films where they could be
Yes.
non-PC, it was a
yeah.
little crude. Let's see if they stick with that or
Yeah,
they're
we'll
just
see
going
about
to
that.
toe the line again. So,
But I feel like the 21, 22 Jump Street, they didn't really have like too much like, political
it's true.
stuff in there. That wasn't
Not even
really,
political though, just like
like race stuff.
the crassness of Superbad and like Pineapple Express. Like just have that.
yeah.
And it's weird because stand-up comedy is
It's
they've like swapped the medium for comedy from movies to now stand-up
Netflix specials.
to comics. That's all it is, where it's like, okay, that's good. They say a lot of crazy stuff and some of it's funny, but if they can do that and it's so successful, why can't you make a movie? Like, why can't you make a movie talking about the same kind of stuff?
Because I think Hollywood is perpetually like 5 years behind everybody else in
It's
terms of
so
trends.
weird. Like you have Dave Chappelle, Shane Gillis, you have like the biggest guys selling out stadiums wherever they go, but you can't make a movie similar to Pineapple Express. Why?
That I don't know. That
It's
I,
like actually baffling to me.
yeah, that I think again, yeah, I think it's the Hollywood's 5 steps out, 5 steps behind where everybody is.
Yeah.
And I think we saw too, like with the numbers for Supergirl. Like that's a movie that should not have been made. If it was supposed to be made at any point in time, it was supposed to be made in like the 2010s when
Yeah.
the superhero movies were big. But now, I mean, I don't know why you would release that because you've seen the numbers with the other Marvel films that have come out since Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
They're not great, right? They're not good. They're good, but they're not great. They're not what they used to be, right?
Of course not.
That's why they're bringing back Robert Downey Jr.
They're bringing
to
back
hope-
everybody.
Yeah, in hope
Yep.
that hype for the actors will bring back,
And it will.
and it will temporarily. But again, now it's the actors. Now it is not
Yeah.
really whatever else you have there, which is why I think Supergirl was just a terrible call. And I think maybe they saw the success of the new Superman movie with the David,
Cronenberg.
yeah, whatever, I forget what his name was. Yeah, that was pretty successful. Whatever. So
Yeah.
they're like, oh, it's
But
still good.
Let's unpack as to why, because we know why. And she made a comment that what was her name, Maddie Alcock or something? I don't know the Supergirl act lead. I don't know her name, but I saw a recent quote from her basically saying, I'm butchering this quote, but basically her being a woman is the reason why it's not going to be as successful. Like there's limitations essentially, and I don't disagree with that. You've had movies like Wonder Woman that have been super successful in the Marvel world, but when you have a movie like this and it starts to perform well, and then you instantly go back on, oh, this is to do with sexism, this is to do with racism, out of touch messaging, whatever it is. Let's talk about the fact that what's the main demographic that enjoys superhero movies? Men, boys, guys. Always been the same thing. Same thing for Star Wars, like we mentioned before. They had to start doing female leads for all these movies to think that, oh, if we put a female lead, it's essentially going to bring in all females to come watch this movie. But we know that that's not a demographic that goes to see these types of movies.
No, they're not interested in that stuff.
It's
They're just not.
delusional.
But it's also, I think you hit the nail on the head with that too. I also think it's just like superhero movies are oversaturated. We've seen them
so much.
It's going the way of like the spaghetti western. I feel like when
Yeah.
you're making too many of the same thing, and it's all really kind of the same trope, the same thing, the same whatever.
Yep.
Also, Supergirl is not as big as Superman, right?
course not.
There's the big. I would argue that there's maybe like the big four superheroes that everybody knows, regardless of.
Yeah.
I'm not a really big comic guy. I'm not a really
Me
big.
neither. Yeah.
But everyone knows Superman. Everyone knows Batman. Everyone knows Spider-Man, and everyone knows the Hulk.
Yeah. Or like Iron Man too. I mean, you could argue other Marvel characters
Yeah,
too.
but those are the big.
those are the
the big
heavy
four from the DC and the Marvel world that everybody knows.
Yeah. But they're like, oh, we're gonna make a movie about this Supergirl who I don't even know. I don't know the lore of her for the comics, but it's also another like high budget film. I think it was like $150 to $200 million film. They're expected to close their theatrical run with maybe hitting $200 million.
This it lost.
You lost a ton of money. You lost probably $100 million.
Yeah.
It's like, and then you blame it on sexism. You blame it on out of touch. People don't understand what we're trying to go for. It's like, because you're not captivating the audience. No one's going to come see it because nobody wants to see it.
No, nobody wants to see it. No one cares. I think there was just a movie that it came out too late.
Yeah.
I don't think no one really cares. Like I know I have like superhero fatigue. I don't want to watch another fucking superhero movie for the rest of my life. I
As
feel
soon
like
as
after,
Endgame came out,
feels like it's been 20 years of just
it has been.
superhero films, and I'm
Because
I'm
it
tired.
started with Iron Man with Robert Downey, like the whole Marvel craze,
like
which
early-
was 2007, I think.
Yeah.
So it's
literally-
been
10.
20 years.
Yeah.
Like it'll be 20 years next year
Wow.
of like Marvel being at the center of the movie discussion in terms of like profitability. They really open up the floodgates for making movies that make a ton of money. You have Titanic and Avatar, which were one-offs, but when Marvel between 2007 and when was Endgame? 2012, 2020,
No,
2019.
yeah, 2019. I think.
Every one was like a smash. Like they were just like printing money, and now they're not. Now they're losing money on pretty much every single film they put out.
Yeah, and I think it's people are just tired of it, and I think it's not only they're tired of it, but you're dealing with now like really obscure characters that no one's really heard of.
Yeah.
I know they're trying to build up like the multiverse, and which I think that's just I think again it's just too much and too much minutia. Like it is a lot of content to try to keep up with, and I think people are just kind of tired of it.
Because
I
it's
know
a-
I'm tired. I'll
'cause
speak
it's
for
like-
myself. I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, because they're trying to make like they're trying to capture the craze of comic books, which was back in like the 60s and 70s, like the pinnacle of comics.
Mhm.
They're trying to do that on the big screen, and it was working for a bit, but it gets a little difficult when you start opening things like the multiverse, which is going to be this new Marvel film because Robert Downey Jr. is playing Doctor Doom, like, and every other actor is in it too. So it's just most likely going to be some sort of alternate timeline or whatever it is
Yeah.
where.
Well, I know that they had to move the release date for Doctor Doom because I think it was supposed to be on the same day that Dune was supposed to
I
come
think
out.
it's still coming out the same day.
It's still coming out the same
Yeah,
day.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
thought they moved it because
They were
of
talking
the-
about
okay.
it. I think, but
Yeah,
I
well,
saw
I
something
mean,
recently.
I think, but then I think it just shows the conversation of them having to move a Marvel movie for a Dune movie. I think shows that, if they did or they didn't, right? The fact of the matter that they're talking about a Marvel movie moving dates
Especially a Marvel movie like that.
with Robert Downey Jr.
Chris Evans,
is
Chris
it
Hemsworth.
kind of shows that the market's
Shifting.
leaving you
Yep.
behind, and I think that's like a recognition of that. But I don't know what. I don't know. I don't. It's a cash grab for Disney, but Disney's just cheap now with everything. I know we harp on Disney a lot because it's just
Because they're in everyone's face all the time.
they're not only in everyone's face, but it's just such the downfall of Disney from what it was to what it is now it's stunning.
It is stunning.
It was one of those things where it's slowly, then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
like
Because you expect Disney to, they've been this institutional company since when? The
20s.
The 20s?
Yeah.
100 years old. And it was just kind of a given that Disney is there in the background making movies, like kids' films, like very good family-friendly films. And now it's just anything attached with Disney fails.
Yeah.
All their huge IPs fail. It's all failing.
because I think I think everyone kind of recognizes it too is that the fact they're getting lazy with stuff. I think they're just going for IP that they know has a built-in audience rather than trying to come up with something more original.
Yeah.
And I think they're taking original IP like Star Wars, Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
and they're switching it for some, I guess, ideological reason or whatever to try to get a newer demographic to enjoy things like Star Wars, to enjoy things
Good luck.
Marvel. And I think that's a bad strategy. I think you're looking at it from a production company position,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think it's a bad strategy. That's just
Definitely.
losing you money, right?
Yep.
The shareholders are concerned with this type of stuff, right? Especially institutional, holders. But it's like, I don't know, like you have to. It's a losing strategy right now, and they got to switch course because they still make original content,
Yep, sure.
and they're great when they actually try to make something original and new.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, it's actually really good. Moana was one, right?
Mhm.
That was really good. The Princess and the Frog
Yeah.
was really good, right? These are recent. Frozen was good, right?
Right.
You have like recent examples of where you took the original road
Yeah.
and it did very, very well.
Because this is the problem when you buy you buy Marvel and Lucasfilm, which each were purchased for I think minimum $4 billion. So there's spent upwards of $10 billion on this. So it's like that. It's an insane investment. So they literally have no choice but to pump out these films because that's like their biggest catalog, But it's also indicative of the failing of Disney by the people that are involved. I know we mentioned Kathleen Kennedy last time with Lucasfilm, but Bob Iger, who was the CEO for the peak of Disney with the Marvel, stuff in the 2010s, he seemed to have like the formula locked down and it was so profitable. And then he left, and then that's when it went crazy. Like they just couldn't put out a good film, like getting over 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, losing movies. And then they bring him back. It's like, oh, Bob Iger's back. Like maybe the ship will turn around. Now he's gone again. So he probably came in. He's just like, oh, you guys.
I can't.
Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah,
Like it's just crazy. Now he's just like, I'm not gonna tie myself like my legacy to this anymore. Like this is done.
it's a losing battle, really. But I don't know. I think you still can turn the ship right round, but the executive level needs to understand that the strategy needs to change. You need to go back to more original stuff.
Have to.
You're gonna have to. I mean, I know it's hard. It's work, right? And no one wants to do that, but like you need to.
Because
Right?
look at the success from other movies that we've seen.
that
you
are
know?
original.
They're all original. All the ones we've talked about, like except for Disclosure Day, like they're all very profitable. People are interested. Really good reviews. Now, yeah, for Supergirl, no one even goes to see it. It's not even like people are just giving bad reviews. It's like people like legitimately aren't going to the theater to watch the film.
No,
So,
but we know people are going to theater to watch the film because we just saw the success of Obsession and Backrooms.
Yep.
Right. So people will go to the theaters.
Yep.
If it's from what we've seen, one original or
Mhm.
a pre-original concept or idea, and two is something different that they haven't seen before.
Yep.
Whereas once you've seen one superhero movie, you've kind of seen them all.
Yeah.
Same thing with the westerns. Once you've seen one western, you've seen them all.
always.
Right. And I think that's the set formula for this stuff. So people are willing to go to the movies.
For
People
sure.
are willing to go to the movies and spend the money.
And it's so funny because you had that. Remember with Ted Sarandos of the CEO of presidency of Netflix was saying like people don't want to go to the theaters anymore. They want to watch it from their home. It's so much more convenient. That's why we're trying to push for like lesser theatrical release times.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit. Like absolute. It's just garbage. That's just such a manipulative thing to say. And then I love that it's not actually true, and that like May of this year was like the highest turnout for AMC in like 6 years. It's like
It was huge.
you're lying.
It was huge.
Like you're literally you're lying or you're delusional.
Well, I think
Both.
too. I mean, he was probably looking at the numbers though, and probably seeing like, yeah, there wasn't really people, especially since the pandemic. A lot of people really weren't going to the movies. But I think a big part of that too is that it wasn't what was being churned out wasn't really that great.
Wasn't that good?
Right? It was just Marvel movie after Marvel movie. You had very terrible Star Wars adaptations.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of was, people don't want to see that. People were tired of that. People went to go see Dune.
Yeah.
People went to go see Backrooms and Obsession. People even went to go see Avatar.
Mhm.
People go to see movies when they want to and they enjoy it, or something original or something cool, right?
Right.
Even though now the third Avatar movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have three.
Yeah.
Even still, like, it's still original in terms of the world building that
Yeah, it's
exists
still,
there
like,
for that
good. It's
stuff.
not-
Yeah, it's
it's
not,
not bad
it's kind of
films.
really the same plot over and over and over
Right.
again.
Right.
This internal struggle between the Colonel and Jake Sully, but which they gotta do something with that anyway.
Yeah.
But the world building's interesting, and so that
Very.
brings people out. But they got to do something with that Jake Sully, and they have to. I thought that after the second one that they were gonna kill. I think they should have gotten rid of both the Colonel and Jake Sully, and have the Spider Kid.
Oh God.
They should have done that. Where it would have been like now it's the blood, the sons are fighting or whatever. But they just brought Spider back and it's like part of the family or whatever.
I
It's like,
guess,
it's just,
bro. It's like the Colonel wasn't even like a main. I just like get exhausted talking about these types of films because it's just so like the stuff they do is so unnecessary, and even bringing back Sigourney Weaver as like her clone,
Yeah.
but she's like like a kid, but she's like 13, but
Yeah.
has a 75-year-old woman's voice. Come on, like we're not dumb, those are impressive movies. I will for sure give Cameron that, but it's just stuff like that is so unnecessary. But yeah, it's like you have to appreciate those movies to be able to keep breathing life into cinema. I think for like the pandemic, the biggest movies that got people back in the theaters were, I think the first one was Top Gun, Top Gun 2. That was like a
That was big.
massive
That was
smash,
a big one,
like huge smash. Very simple plot, nothing crazy at all. And then obviously the Barbenheimer thing.
Yeah.
That was I've never seen anything like that in my life. That was a phenomenon. We'll probably never see it again.
No.
Because that was just because everyone wants to go to the theaters. Like everyone
People wanted
wants
to
that.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
People wanted to be a
It's
part
an
of
event.
something.
It's
right?
like it's a familial thing. It's with your friends. There's so many like avenues to go to the theater, and that showed that it was. And then the same space, you have Ted Sarandos being like,
nah.
it's people want to stream. People want to stay
And no doubt people
cocooned.
will stream. People will continue to stream. I mean, I stream, but
Of course.
that's just the reality, right?
But not for like new movies. You want
No,
to see a
I
new good
want to
movie.
go to the theater.
It's like yeah. I mean, it's kind of like it's like back in the day when Harry Potter was coming out. They'd have the book festivals, the book
Yeah.
release parties.
Yeah.
I remember going to those as a kid. Those were crazy because like you wanted to be there
Mm.
because that was the time like it's first coming out. You can get the book,
Yeah.
you can get it, you can bring your family, dress up. Like it's a fun thing. Kind of Barbenheimer. Everyone's dressed up in pink. We're trying to dress up like Oppenheimer
Yeah,
himself and like
yeah.
looking insane, but it's fun. Like that's like a very
That's-
fun, motivating thing.
Yeah, it's fun to because it's community. It creates a little bit of sense of community. You're part of the joke. You're part of an
Yeah.
event for them. And people like that. Especially now with everyone kind of being fragmented and individualized on their phone, right, or
Yeah.
through their their devices. It's very hard to get that type of kind of community going with stuff. And I think movies and the movie theater specifically is a way to kind of bring that together.
Yeah.
Get
'Cause, yeah,
back to connecting and get back to like you're watching a movie with everyone else around you, right?
Because community's lacking in this country for sure.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
like
it's just
no. I remember, growing up, you knew everybody in your neighborhood. You literally knew like 95% of people. Back home, where my parents live, where I grew up for most of my life, they don't know a single person. Like no one knows anybody. No one talks to anybody. Same with this, where I am. I don't know anybody, and it's not like I'm not friendly to people, but it's just
It's the way it is now.
you just don't engage.
No.
There's just no engagement because you're just seen as there's no motivation to be friends with somebody you don't know,
Yeah.
which is weird because that's like the whole point of growing up in school and all that is like
Yeah, we're just
Smart.
very atomized now, and I think that has to do a lot with. I think that's a lot to do with social media, kind of making everybody too a little crazy, right? People think they're constantly right. You go on these like mom Facebook groups or like Facebook or whatever. Who's is this a human trafficking thing? Is this everyone's just lost their mind. That
the conspiracies and all
the
this.
conspiracies. Everybody's just a conspiracy theorist now. I mean, the Goyim have gone insane. It's just it's true. They've gone insane.
Yeah.
And everyone's schizophrenic with stuff. Everyone's just this hyper polarized world now where
Yeah.
if you believe one iota out of step with what I believe in, then you're out.
It's
you're,
the
you're dead.
strictest binary I've ever seen.
is-
in terms of everything.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's not exclusive to anyone on any position.
No.
You see that everywhere. People
for
are just
everywhere.
very hyper dogmatic about things. They're
Whether it's your political association, your religion,
Yeah,
your
it's-
film taste, it's just
it's everyone is so, and I think maybe it was like COVID that broke a lot of people's brains. I think everyone kind of understands that, but yeah, we live in a very atomized society where everyone's a conspiracy theorist, where everyone has these like crazy ideas. They're very dogmatic about things. And it's hard to create community like that. It's really hard to kind of break through that kind of almost superstructure that we
Because,
exist
like-
in. And I think movies
yeah.
are a way to kind of break through that a little bit because you're there to watch a film together. You can take part in the hype that's not dogmatic, that's not rigid and hierarchical, or
And the
whatever it
reason
is.
for like the deterioration of community is because there's no real like baseline culture in this country anymore. There's no baseline morals or values. It's all interpretive. It's all I believe this and you believe something else, so therefore we can't associate with each other. There's no like concessions for anything. It's like you said, dogmatic. Like this is the law, and if you don't like it, then like you should probably like go to hell. Like that's how extreme they're
Kill
willing
yourself,
to take it.
yeah.
Literally, it's like how can you interact with people? And yeah, there's the whole movie going thing is a sense of community.
Yeah.
Everyone's in. It's like going to a concert. You're all going to something at the same time to see the same thing, which is cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's like a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's fun to be with people you don't know and you're all having like laughing to it or getting scared and
You
and
share
that-
it.
It's a shared experience. And the shared experiences are dying. Like you have to actively go out of your way to get a shared experience because now everyone's just secluded on their phones in their room.
Yeah, everyone's just doom scrolling. Everyone's just on TikTok or
Putting hate
Instagram
comments.
Reels. Yeah, literally.
You know,
yeah,
it's
We've
crazy.
been watching you, people. We've been watching you.
It's a lot
of them, but it's
fun, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's whatever. But people are just, and I think movies are a great way to kind of break that. Like you said with concerts and stuff like that, it's a good way to kind of break that, that the rigidity that people have about things, and I think that's good. I think that's a
Yeah.
great thing. So yeah, I don't think the solution to the increased atomization and alienation a lot of people feel right now, like the sense of dread and doom that is, as a consequence of that people
Hmm.
feel, is going to be solved by you staying inside your house more.
Yeah, streaming
That's
more.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not going to be solved that way. And I think
Also, it's not even convenient anymore because everything there's 50 streaming services and they're all $25 a month.
yeah. Well, there's the joke that they're eventually just going to reinvent cable.
Probably.
Because it's going to be like, oh, you can get all these for a bundle package of this, and that'll be what cable is. That's what it is. They'll just reinvent the wheel.
And it'll
that
still
way.
have ads. Don't
yeah,
worry.
don't worry. Oh, shit.
Isn't that
This is
crazy?
the United States of America. There will always be ads.
I remember when Netflix was coming out and they had their whole the movie delivery service, kind of like instead of going to Blockbuster, they'll deliver it to you. And when the streaming first started, it's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like no commercials. I can watch my favorite shows. This is great. And then all of a sudden, it's like,
Nope.
wait, this is the standard plan, and now there's another plan
Yeah.
with no ads. And then even if you get the biggest plan, like the most expensive plan, there's still ads every now and again for something.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
Yeah, and I think too with Netflix, I don't think it's really ever. I could be wrong, but last I checked is that they've never actually made a profit. It's kind of like Uber.
Yeah,
They just keep getting investment money kind of put in there.
they
And
just-
one way,
because
to-
they're production.
yeah, and one
so-
way to kind of get money back and recoup is through the ads. But
Right.
this is the United States of America. There will always be ads. If they could find a way to implant ads into your brain while you're sleeping, they would. They do
I
that immediately. That's why I don't like the idea of like what Musk wants to do with that
Neuralink. Yeah.
because I know that I'll get, you're thinking about something and all of a sudden, what's it called? Like you'll get something for like BetterHelp or
Right, just like playing
like,
in your
what?
sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just wakes
What?
you. Or it's gonna be like a fridge with like a touch. I've seen like fridges with like touch screens on
Yeah.
them. It's like you have to watch this 30-second ad before you can open your fridge.
Yeah.
It's like
Well, I've seen people do ads like they're starting to do ads now with like with drones, like the beach. It's like if I go to the beach and I see an ad by a drone,
What do you mean,
I'm going like
an ad by a drone.
they'll have like drone lights or whatever to kind of create the thing, or they'll have like they'll hold like a banner or whatever.
I remember the
they'll-
planes.
the planes, but that was kind of like
yeah, that was like
always whatever. It was always up there, but now they have it like almost like level with the ocean, like the sea line.
I mean, we're not treated as people anymore. We're just treated as the
You're
product.
a product.
That's all we
you're
are.
a consumer. You're not a citizen. You're not a human being. You're.
You're a money-making
But
machine.
if I ever go to the beach and I see that type of stuff, I'm going to become the Unabomber. That's not. Stop
don't-
with the ads.
we don't condone. I don't condone that.
I do. Well, we can cut that.
Hopefully,
But we can cut that. But no, I mean, it's insane that the amount of ads that's now required for this stuff. Like, and yeah, you were given this idea of the streaming services, like you would be able to avoid that,
yeah.
and now you can't.
No.
You can't get it on YouTube. You can't get it on even HBO if you don't have like
Yeah, you
like
have to have,
a
like, the-
great plan. They have you do the ads
Which I got recently. It's like $21 now
Yeah.
for like the standard plan, no ads
for what one?
for HBO.
For HBO.
Like $21.
That's crazy.
I can't watch anything. It's like the U.S. Open came on, and I'm looking for golf, not tennis, and I'm trying to find it on my smart TV, and it's just like, oh, if you have a DirecTV subscription, or oh, it's only broadcasting for a specific hour on this service, and then you have to also buy this service. I'm like, by the end of the tournament, I've had 4 services that I've purchased, and then I have to cancel all of them. It's insane. I'm so sick of
Yeah,
it.
sports with streaming is crazy because it's so. You want to talk about like greedy?
Oh my god.
You want to talk about greed? It's crazy.
And then every ad is just gambling. Like
That's true.
every single ad, FanDuel, Hard Rock,
Yeah.
MGM. It's just
Yeah. Well, I used to joke that at the Super Bowl, I mean, you would if you watched all the commercials, you'd think that the only thing driving the American economy is gambling and
AI.
AI.
I think it is.
That's it.
I think that's very, very true. Because every ad was a sports betting app or an AI company.
Yeah. That was really it. It was crazy. It was insane.
It's disturbing. It's
Yeah,
actually, like, really
everything's
disturbing.
gambling now. Everything is everyone's on Kalshi or Polymarket or whatever.
Oh my god.
That's the other thing that's been crazy to watch too. This has been a very recent development that I've seen is the like very serious political pundits and very serious political commentators relying more on like Polymarket and Kalshi to see like the electability of certain people rather than polling data. Now, I don't know if that's because polling data since Trump has emerged, there's been it's been very tough to actually get a reliable poll on everything
Sure.
because the polls are always wrong when it
Always
comes to
wrong.
Trump. So I don't know if that's become an outcrop of that, but that's a very weird, like a very recent and weird thing that I've noticed is that like the betting markets have become
Let's
kind of
take
a signal
yeah, let's
for
take
who's going to win an election or what are the odds that
let's take the degenerate gamblers'
Yeah.
opinions over like normal people. It's not saying you guys aren't normal, but
yeah.
it gets a little bit out of hand when you're asking your mom for $1,000 for your rent, and she gives it to you, and you just go and put it on a game, and then you lose it.
Yeah, you're putting it on whether
And I know the person who did that. Like
Yeah.
it's just insane. Like
Yeah,
I don't know how you.
it's crazy behavior.
It's one of the most
It's
dangerous It is
yeah,
like
behavior
I don't think there's a worse addiction than gambling. I think that's probably like number one or two. Or honestly, maybe more than like a severe drug addiction because you can lose everything
Yeah.
quickly. Like you lose it quickly. You lose your family. You lose your marriage. You lose your house, your car. Everything's gone.
Well, the joke with gambling, it's the only addiction that it's both the problem and the solution. You can gamble your way out of the
Yeah,
problem,
true.
right? That's the kind of the joke there. But
The
yeah, I
crazy
mean,
cycle.
but it's also insane how normalized like gambling has become in the United States
Yeah.
with that stuff. Kind of everything feels like a casino now.
Because online like sports betting was illegal. It was a felony for up
Oh,
until
yeah.
like what 10, 15 years ago.
Less.
And like same with casinos, you can only build them on water. Like you have to like build them on some sort of body of water to
Yeah.
not be on the land. Now they're everywhere.
I think gambling was better when you had to go in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere,
yeah,
and you had to like, and you announced that you were going to this
it's an event.
a
Like, it's like a-
shitty,
right.
place to. I'm not shitting on Las Vegas, but some of the places are a little seedy. But
Atlantic City, that's seedy.
that's. But
a rough one.
you'd have to go in the middle of the desert and
Right.
engage
Just
in
like a
that,
vacation almost.
Yeah, but now you can just do it on the phone. It feels like I don't know. It feels very crass now to be
It feels
gambling with that
dirty
stuff.
because it's just like, and it's like it's all like enticing. It's like your first bet, you get free $200. It's like, do you? Do you actually like really?
Yeah.
I just
It's just crazy how normalized it's been. I mean, weed has just been reclassified by the Trump administration. I know weed is, fast approaching legality in many states. I mean, it's legal here in New York.
Mhm.
A few other states it's legal. You get it from medicinally. But I've never seen a weed company advertising
Not yet.
anything.
not yet
Not
because
yet.
it's illegal federally. I think once that changes,
Yeah.
then you'll see it
Yeah,
everywhere.
be more- yeah.
If there's beer commercials everywhere, like that'll certainly pop up. Just I guess the core of this is like the degradation of the American culture. It's in every facet in the entertainment industry, in the health industry, and I have like Ozempic and all this stuff. It's like you feel like you don't know what to do. Maybe you are better off just staying inside at home
I don't.
to not interact with all these crazy people.
I don't. Well, I mean, I think it's good. The thing is that when you're so isolated with everything, right? You're just constantly in your house streaming, doom scrolling. You go onto this spiral of you really do begin thinking of other people as like the other,
Yeah,
right? It's almost like this dehumanization that exists between yourself and other people
true.
because you don't look at them like
People.
other. Yeah, they don't. You lose that empathy of treating these people as like they're human beings too with very complex thoughts and complex feelings and. They have ideas that they read different stuff. They look at they watch different things, right? And that formulates part of what they believe and how they act and how they vote and how they do stuff. And I think if you're just constantly in your bubble, right, that algorithmic bubble that you've created for yourself, this little hell that you've made, right, you just don't think of them as that anymore. You think of them as the enemy. You think of them as something, which is why I think, again, going back to the point is. That's why I like the idea of, keeping movie theaters alive and going to the movies because it gives you that opportunity to literally get out of your house,
Yep.
put the phone down,
Yep.
and be around people who you otherwise wouldn't be around. Not saying you'd have a conversation with everybody, but you're around different people. And you're around,
detached from-
exactly,
Yeah.
from that thing that's literally poisoning your
Literally
mind.
Literally poisoning.
Literally
you.
poisoning your mind.
And maybe physically too. We don't know what what the phones are actually doing, constantly being attached to your leg at all times.
Yeah,
It's like,
you
what
know.
is that? I don't know. There's
Yeah, there's definitely something to it, but it's good to have those ways, especially in a world where it's increasingly getting more isolated and atomized for each individual, where it's harder and harder and harder
Yep.
to go out and actually deal with
And like we said this
community.
before, like with even in terms of dating, like you have to go online now.
Yeah.
You have to like pay for a subscription for an app to just meet somebody,
Yeah.
you know? Just the core, like one of the core foundations of like civilization, you now have to pay for it to have any sort of good luck.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what, are you going to go to a bar and talk to a girl?
Yeah, and then you get videoed by her and then posted online
literally.
and be made fun of by everybody on the internet. Yeah.
And then they wonder why men aren't going up to women in bars. It's like the culture doesn't exist anymore.
No,
like
y-
it's
what- yeah.
completely changed.
You know, it was made very clear by a very loud group of people that that's not acceptable.
And everyone
know.
else has to comply with it.
But that's just but again, that's just the greater sign and symptom of that stuff, and I think that's why movies have an opportunity and way to bring everything, people especially, together for stuff.
Especially to be able to like tackle ideas, you know, like I think film can just be more than just this visual thing that you take and it's like an event. It's like some movies you have to really think deeply about it, you know. It's like, oh, I'm handling these specific questions. I'm questioning myself sometimes. It's like, am I like this person, or, you know, the topic they're discussing? And then being able to debate that with people and discuss that is just a great dialogue to open up. And you're not going to get that if you're just watching it on your phone in your room,
Yeah.
just rage tweeting at people online.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, you,
that's your that's your discourse, your discussion.
you have to, like, even with the movie like Citizen Vigilante, even if you're not right wing or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it presents a different, it breaks you out of your little algorithmic thing,
Yeah.
and it presents you a different message that you wouldn't otherwise hear. Now, whether you agree with that message, disagree with that message,
Different
that's
story.
a different story. But it presents you with a different narrative than the one that you have basically conditioned yourself to believe and accept. And I think that's a good thing.
100%.
I think it's a very good thing to engage with materials that you otherwise would not engage with.
Because then we go to the real core of it, which is, you know, for film at least, it's freedom of speech. It's freedom of the press. It's like the whole point of freedom of speech is to be able to see things that you disagree with. Like that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Things you're vehemently opposed to, it's allowed to be said.
Yeah.
And you have to grapple with that. You can't just say, no, I don't like that. Take it down, put him in prison.
No.
Can't do it.
Freedom of speech only really exists for people that you really disagree with.
That's it.
That's what it is. That's
That's
what it's
the whole
for.
point of it. Yeah.
And not only as a legal idea, right, as a point of like the court can't stop you, or the
Right.
government can't impose it on you. But it used to be too, and I think that that idea is kind of going away a little bit in the United States. Is it used to be a very civic virtue too. It used to be, it didn't matter if it was the government. It was also you had to hold that idea as well. And I think
sure.
a lot of people now are kind of, well, the law is
Right.
You're free from, you're not free from the consequences of what
Exactly.
you say.
Exactly.
And it's like, to an extent, that's true, right? You can't go around, you know, saying like
Fire in a
N-word,
theater.
fire in a theater,
Right.
you know, trying to like irritate. But there was, like, very famously, there was a time when even the ACLU defended the right of neo-Nazis to hold a demonstration and march through a
Yeah.
community
Yep.
that was filled with Holocaust victims.
Wasn't that? I think it was Illinois, right?
It was Illinois,
Skokie, Illinois.
Skokie,
Yeah.
Illinois.
Mhm.
That was like that as a idea, as that yes, even the insane neo-Nazi marching through a community of Holocaust survivors, that is still a fundamental
Which is
position. That
it's a profound thing.
Yeah.
Like for them to condone that and be fine with that.
Yeah, I
Like
can't
that,
see the ACLU doing that now. By the way.
No, not now because it's completely shifted. You know, the whole freedom of speech thing was on a knife's edge the past few years. But that's like an unbelievable thing. Yeah, that doesn't sound real. I bet people would just be like, "What are you talking about? That's
that
not
was,
even a
yeah, it was a
very
real court
real thing."
case, and
Yeah.
it really went. It was, but that goes to show you how it was not just a legal point, although that it was the legal point of that court case, but it's also like the civic virtue that existed at the time, where it was yes,
Yeah.
it exists for the very people whom we vehemently disagree with, and I think it's good to get out of that bubble. And again, I think movies that present a different message, just I think reading books that you would otherwise disagree with, I think
Yeah.
are good to read. If you just keep reading and watching things that reinforce and agree with your worldview or agree with whatever you think about any given topic, it doesn't even have to be political. It could be about like I don't know,
Anything.
dating, right? It doesn't have to be
And then when you see something that you don't agree with, that's like evil.
It's,
you know,
it's bad.
such
You're
an
a bad person for
extreme
thinking
opinion.
that.
Yeah.
And
You're
that's
warped.
not. Yeah, and that's not a an appropriate thing, because that's in order. People have talked about how like having empathy for stuff. But, you know, for me, it's you can be empathetic with kind of worldviews in this way if you're able to recite back to me the things that I believe in a way that I would agree with them.
Right.
Because I would do the same for you, right? That's
Yeah.
showing that I'm like really putting myself in your shoes. For
Exactly.
things. But in order to do that, you need to engage with content you would otherwise not engage with, and to be with people whom you otherwise wouldn't be. And that's what movies and movie theaters still provide.
Exactly.
And that's why I think it's a good thing to keep maintaining it and doing it.
Yeah, it does a lot more than we think it does.
Yeah, it's a huge,
Huge thing.
but
And yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's better that way. But
Go see Citizen Vigilante if you want to, but you're probably not going to like it because it's just a bad movie, I think.
yeah,
Not a
the writing wasn't that great.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I know they used I think Armie Hammer was the only American, so it was a very European cast.
Yeah,
So obviously English is not their first language. I think they filmed it in Poland.
somewhere there. Right?
So English is not really their first language, so that obviously creates a little bit of, I think, of a
Discrepancy.
barrier with
Yeah.
people being able to act because they're not really comfortable
True.
with the language that they're supposed to talk with. Not that they don't have a mastery of English, because they do.
Right.
But it's still like it's not your native language, right? It's not what you
true.
don't have maybe that same flow that
Yeah.
you would with English. But
Definitely.
but yeah, I mean, that was an interesting movie, very interesting.
Keep going to the theaters.
Yeah, keep going to the theaters. Keep
It's the
that
most
alive.
important thing. That's such an important thing.
I know AMC is a big bad corporation or whatever, but it's really good to, I think
It's good to support it. Support the
support it,
creators.
yeah. Independent theaters.
Yep.
AMC is a more corporate theater, whatever it is. Just go in
Just go.
and support that because it's good to just get out of your house.
Yep. Get out of your house.
I think it's a good one.
Get off your phone.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That. Like and subscribe for the next one.
Like and subscribe. Thanks.